It's tabletop time! And I'm Dave.
And I'm Elle.
I'm Murray. I'm Dragon.
And Jen put the wrong music on. Now she fixed it.
And if today is the day we play episode 2, then I'm the GM.
Are you?
Oh, wait. It is, and I am. It's episode 2 of the Kindred Roleplay.
Was that a joke? I don't know.
No, it wasn't a joke. You were meant to kind
Sorry,
of
I've
just
lost
let
my
it slide
voice
by.
for
It was me guffing my line, but then kind of like
Yeah, you totally saved it.
Yeah, it was
I saved it.
salvaged.
I saved it in the way that like, you know, you're driving along and you sort of steer and you almost crash and you scrape the paint. Like I scraped the paint,
You clearly
but I almost went off like the road. So this is better. Okay, so
That's very short.
it's episode.
Salvaged it like everybody.
Just turn your camera down. It is episode 2. Everyone's in a goofy mood because Jen just told a very long story about a circus in our live stream. It
was like half
because
an
of
hour.
course, we live
So
stream.
good.
I'm so sorry.
We
No,
live
don't
stream
be.
on Twitch, everybody.
Sorry.
We live stream on Twitch. We're currently live streaming on Twitch, and we live stream on Twitch
Do we not have a...
every Tuesday night at 8:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Which is GMT plus 10 for those who are curious.
And if you catch us live, you too can bear witness to such amazing stories like our circus one.
Yes.
And why she hates the hula hoop woman.
I might have been in tears.
She doesn't
but it's
hate
fine.
the hula hoop woman. Oh my God. No, we can't go into it.
Lady was trying, okay?
That's a good teaser.
Doing her best.
You can listen to it with just your ears. If looking at me repulses you, don't worry. You can listen to me instead.
feel you.
And you can listen to the podcast. The links are also in the description. And all of our gameplay is done by Gateway Roleplay. Check it out. But for now, let's not waste any more time plugging things. And someone can volunteer to give me a recap of the last episode. And that volunteer will be Elle for her rude
Oi.
comment about me just before.
You
ruined.
picked the person with the worst memory.
That's why you'll look the worst, and thus I get my revenge.
Let's exercise those improv skills.
Okay, so
You can just make it up.
Is it improv though?
we were on the moon.
It's
we
not-
saw a
it's
fluffy
not improv.
bunny
You
rabbit.
experienced it.
There were
It's
unicorns.
improv if you can't remember.
and baby dinosaurs.
There was an expedition leaving New Liberty.
Bad memory, my bottom.
My buttocks.
Yes, we were leaving my bottom.
New Liberty, and 2 of the crew members, well, not necessarily crew members, but the party, had applied to this job. One of them was Jen's character, Mama,
Mama.
who wanted to gather ingredients and dissect things to cook and eat.
Yes.
And the other one was my scientist, Prudence, who also wants to dissect things, but not to eat, to experiment on. Then we had Clement, who was Clement, the second
Clement
in
the frog?
command.
It's me, Clement.
Clement the frog.
It's not easy.
Howdy,
I don't know what you call a second in command.
You'd be a first mate on board the ship.
The first mate that we met along the journey. Great old friend.
Maybe the real rewards are the mates we made along the way.
And he was very chatty and enthusiastic and yeah.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. There was Sean Connery, the captain, who was
I don't
flirting
know
with
about
Mama.
that.
Yeah. And then there was Pax, who's our malformed, very big.
Hey.
Maybe could be a little smarter, but we don't judge
I
it.
how the captain NPC got a mention
Yeah,
before the other
look,
team
it was,
member.
related, it was related to your. If you were the first mate, I felt like I had to say who the captain was.
Oh, the top mate, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Your best boy.
Hey, don't ask me to do the
No,
recap if you
the
expect it
best
to make
boy
sense.
is actually called a cabin boy. And the cabin boy is Ferret.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy.
Who's in fact 47 years old. So he's been a cabin boy a long
Oh,
time.
He's been boy in
and yeah, so
cabins
we set off on our journey. We got a tour around the ship,
Thanks, that. That was good.
and
Sorry.
then we spotted something that could be intruders.
It's like an air pocket that could have people in it.
That. Yeah, so we're going to
friend or
investigate,
foe.
and that is where we left it.
Oh, sorry. I just
The
remembered
end.
that Ferret's birthday was actually like 3 days before we set off. So he's 48 now.
Thanks
sorry.
for that. Okay.
We missed his
Worth the
birthday.
information.
Yeah. And the Pax didn't.
Never misses Ferret's birthday.
Aww.
We made birthday stew in a bucket.
Hey, you got cake.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, it's tradition. You got a
What's the
cupcake.
cake made out of?
It's a cupcake.
Bucket cake.
It's in like a plastic bag.
Okay.
Yeah, and you kind of, and like a little
suspicious
musty
of it.
air comes out of it. All right.
Oh, worm.
So we will pick up our episode where we were descending. You were on a journey to the surface, but some clever cookie named Clement noticed on the nav logs that there was a sonar ping and there was something out there in the water. Get your phones off the table.
Not me.
Yeah, that's weird. There's some scrunches and crunches.
It's just interference from the submarine. It's fine.
It's sonar interference. So
Immersion.
you have decided, you've been declared as an away team, as the captain bravely stated that he would never be sending the captain, the gunnery officer, the navigator.
Never send the whole chain of command on
Yeah,
that
and
weird
instead
mission.
would just send the first officer and then 3 randoms. So that way, he could ensure. Well, actually, to be fair, Prudence and Mama petitioned to go because they're excited and want to see things. But yes, his logic was don't do a Star Trek. Basically, send an away team that you can afford to lose.
Yes, send away.
Yeah.
Look, I'm first mate, not best mate.
Really.
So
First mate really means first to die.
First choice.
First choice.
the submarine pulls in close, and silty, deep water, the sort of powder of detritus of rotten animals that makes up a significant amount of the food chain at this depth.
My favorite seasoning.
Although you have raised
it on my
in
chips.
depth in altitude since you began your journey, stirs up, and there is very little visibility out of the portholes on the land sub. You do make out the vague outline of a rocky face up ahead, like a cliff face, an underwater cliff, and also the bulbous brass shape of the supposed submerged vessel that you are partially to investigate. Although there was also this cavern system that you found on your maps that you also are likely to investigate. And the submarine pulls to a stop.
Do we get a mini vehicle to get out?
No. The submarine is not big enough to have any kind of mini vehicles on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What now?
Well, now we get out.
He's not wrong.
What about the slight problem of breathing?
Yes, well, guess what? You're about to get suited up.
What does that mean?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure how more blunt I could put that. You're going to put a suit on.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were about to do something.
Put on your outside skin to protect your inside skin.
I feel like my declaration has lost a lot of its flair now. This way.
No, Clement. You must remember, before they're allowed in the water, they have to pass the test that all leavers and scourgers must pass.
Ah, Dr. Drown!
Well, don't spoil the test.
Oh.
Didn't have to for all of them, they still flunked.
Yes, very true. Good luck.
And don't drown!
Yes.
It's not that hard. You just close up your bits and you're all good.
My brother, he never made it.
What is this test?
Well, they say it's the hardest test you can do to become part of the dive corps. Basically, you gotta, I don't really know. I didn't pass. I passed out, but then I woke up and they said I failed. And I was very wet for some reason. I just remember, feeling like trapped inside my suit, and I wanted to. It was just very claustrophobic in there.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Not like the wide open space of this land sub. This soldier gestures to like the extremely crazed fingers touching the wall from either side.
Something.
So if you failed, why are you here?
Yeah, that was my question too.
He
not Robert.
doesn't leave.
Because I'm not a diver.
Sub.
He's just not allowed outside.
See.
Good luck.
How do we do this test?
Well, follow me. And I lead them to the
I feel unsafe.
Lockers, I guess.
where,
Yeah.
the lockers.
and you pull out a couple of spare dive suits. There are always, despite the fact that people are, not necessarily qualified to use them, there are still several suits for emergencies, repairs, things like that. And people like the captain, for example, who aren't wearing a dive suit is perfectly competent in wearing one and getting out of the ship. And yeah, you begin to suit up. It is a very heavy rubber and steel garment. You need help to get into it.
Just
Yes.
baby
Help will be provided. They will be suited up to the best of our abilities.
No one knows where the
test is
Kindred
what
got
comes
such a
after.
heavy supply of baby
Very good.
powder.
I'm happy to just say that Clement and Pax can comfortably get them suited up. Despite the joking about some of the lapses that the Kindred do have, there are plenty of competent people. There's a big spectrum of intelligence in the Kindred, but there's plenty of
This is
people.
humanity.
Natural
I'd say
selection.
I'd say that one of the poles is slightly more heavily weighted than the other, but the other poles still exist. There are
Okay.
Kindred geniuses and extreme, and there's a bulk of middle population where they're perfectly average.
Jen's getting PTSD over the poles.
So you suit up
Floppy foot.
and put that Kindred helmet on.
Can't
For
do
the
much
first
science
time.
with these big old gloves. But it'll do. I waddle over.
And
You'll be fine.
you head up to the conning tower, of which two of you, really, you're basically going to have to go one at a time, where the conning tower will be sealed off with airtight doors and then filled with water, and then you can open the top hatch and leave, and then the water gets pumped out. You do that 4 times.
Right. Pax, you can go first. I'll be there to push them from... Persuade them and encourage them behind.
It's easy enough.
You make sure they get out.
I'm gonna hop in and
You hear the
Seal up
vague
the door.
creaking of metal as just pressure and water
The
impact
rhythmic
the
bump
ship.
of him hitting his head every single time.
And then Pax, the conning tower empties of air and fills with this lovely water, the cold brine of the deep.
like mum's hug. Just climb his way out.
And the rest of you follow suit. Who's next?
I'll say for science, and I'll go.
Climb out. Cool. Now,
Fascinating.
you all, I'm just going to say, you're all competent PCs. You all follow procedure. We don't have to make any rolls to just see if you don't die in a stupid way.
Bummer.
That was my
in the conning tower. However, once you are all outside, you are all floating in
Connery
this.
Tower.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
I wanted to be mad.
You're floating in this.
Upset he didn't think of it.
You're all sort of hanging on to the rails around the top of the land sub, and you can basically just make out this silty. The light disappears so quickly in front of you. You can make out the shape of that massive deck gun on the front of the land sub, all stowed. But that's about as far, maybe 5 meters of very poor visibility and 1 meter of okay visibility in this water. And you are all outside. So I am going to get Mama and Prudence to make a check. And this check is going to be a intelligence resistance check.
Oh, resistance.
It is representing your mental fortitude and your physical ability to control your urge to rip your helmet off.
The crushing weight gets you.
I love how
every
we questioned
time.
if Murray could reach the dice and not if Elle could reach the dice. 2?
I got 1.
You both resist the urge to pull the helmet off your head under the water. But in that moment where you get that brief, because it's your first time, you get that brief sense of being trapped inside this suit, that you kind of realize that's how people fail the test. Because there's a
They're
lack
very
of
stupid.
connection between air and water and what keeps you alive. So the sailor obviously took his helmet off close enough to the ship that they dragged him back in and was like, fail. Yeah, that's why he woke up in a puddle next to his suit and told he was failed. So,
Follow you guys.
Which way are we going?
See that big sub ship that we didn't come on? We're going that way.
Can we communicate through these big things? Or is it all like...
no. You do not, none of you have radios.
Okay.
What we just did was transcribed for the podcast listeners as Pax shrugged both shoulders and I point enthusiastically at a big shadow.
Sounds a little bit like
Another
that.
one failed.
No, actually, I think that sound does travel a short distance because you speak into the helmet. I actually do think that you can hear
A little
people
bit.
speaking. So if you're close together, you can, and you're
Okay.
shouting in your own helmet, you can kind of hear each other.
We
But
communicate through
it's
whale
not
song.
great.
Can we do the expanse thing where you like touch the surfaces of the helmets together and you can sort of hear it?
Yeah, sure. And you and Clement and Pax are quite familiar with a series. You two can communicate freely through a series of basically diving gestures.
Like military
The other
commands.
two don't have a clue what they mean, but you know them all by heart. You despite everything, you are both quite proficient as divers and soldiers.
Hell yeah.
You begin to proceed. Are you swimming, which is going to be very difficult, or are you walking along the seafloor in your heavy suits?
Pax will just drop straight.
There is a thump of silt that goes up.
I might sort of take point and be a bit more scouty about it.
Make an acuity check, Pax, as the first one to land.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to go well.
Kaplonk.
Oh, actually, no, that'd be reflexes acuity.
Yeah.
Back here, are we happy?
So not terrible, actually.
It's over there now.
Okay.
I like having my sheet here.
Ah,
Oh, awesome.
that's a signal.
Almost.
3.
As the silt sort of spreads out from your feet, at the very corner of your eyesight, you do see this long shape like a cable just sort of go and pull out of sight in a fluid motion. And you immediately that's a tentacle and that's a long one.
Do I see Clement nearby?
Clement,
somewhere?
what are you doing?
Sort of taking points and getting probably a bit closer to the ship than everyone else.
So you all
Everyone
drop
else
into
is
the
basically
ground.
following
Pax
Pax.
hit the ground first.
Pax and drop down as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll swim or drop down, whichever I think is sort of just fastest.
Dropping.
Sure.
I will turn to Clement and do the saw tentacle.
Blobbert is squished in my air helmet. He does the same thing.
You took your
Yes.
eel with you.
Not my eel, it's
an
my
octopus.
Oh,
a
octopus.
tiny
I
love-
octopus
I love
that
the
looks like a
octopus.
squid.
Does your octopus, you know what?
Why is he
I
rolling?
love the
Suffocating.
same reason you did.
No.
I do love the idea. of
Blobbert has completely obstructed one of your portholes in your helmet. It's going to give you -1 to your acuity checks as he is desperately trying to enter the ocean that you are depriving him from. It's an octopus
want him
let me
I don't
out!
want him to run away.
There's
I'm like,
just- there's
stop
just-
it, Blobbert.
There's just
Stop.
one of your portholes that has the octopus mouth with suckers around it.
Just the
And
eyeball.
the worst thing is that could be your key to death because octopuses, given enough time, are very
Find a way out.
intelligent.
Yeah.
You'll hear this psh of oxygen.
They can get through any, and they can make it through any space that they can fit their beak through because it's
He's
the
a
only
really
solid part of their
stupid
body.
one, though. His eyes roll around.
Well, he's been
she
deprived
made
of the
sure he
ocean
was
for most of
done.
his life. Yeah.
So yeah, do we have any contingencies for? Oh no, big squid.
Did you bring any weapons with you?
I've got a knife.
I have
I
my
would have my weapon.
syringe.
If we're going on a roleplay mission, I would have my weapons. with
Okay.
me.
And you've
my
got your
science
equipment.
syringe.
Yep. And you've got your hunting harpoon gun. Cool. You're all set. That's your contingency.
Cool. All right.
What did you think your contingency would be?
I don't know. Bloody fire a firework and alert the sub, and 12 million guns fold out of the sub.
The giant cannon that we have in the
It
front.
depends on
It's
the.
basically is there
Oh.
something that we could
Oh,
do as
that-
opposed to oh well.
That gun doesn't fire underwater.
Not big gun.
It's for
Yeah.
the land
That's a deck gun.
lubbers.
Oh right, it's a walker, isn't it? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
The ship you're on is a submarine and more like a World War I U-boat. One, it has like a flat deck on the top, and when it surfaces, there's a deck gun on the front for shooting surface targets.
I see.
Most often these days, coastal targets. There are torpedo tubes on the sub though. And there's harpoon guns on the port and starboard. They're like, you know, the horrible whaling harpoons that the whaling ships have? You basically have one of them on each side of the ship as well.
That's right. Well, I'm sort of going to pause upon you, telling me this, sort of look back at our sub, and then turn back to you and sign, if it gets bad, they'll work it out.
Just hefts his club and like going to make his way over towards the other sub.
Yep, we've got a job to do, so I'm just going to keep going.
I'm not going to make you make any checks. It's a fairly, it's a desolate, even though there's poor visibility, it's a desolate underwater basin, and you are walking towards the only objects that are casting like a silhouette. And the submarine is projecting floodlights forward, which are kind of just illuminating, not anything really useful because of the way light diffuses at this depth and disappears, but they're kind of just silhouetting the major features of the landscape effectively, but they're not really giving you much nuance.
Are we approaching the flank of this submarine?
You can circle it around it. You can approach it however you want.
Sure. I think I'd probably stay out of the lights so if anyone in there doesn't immediately know we're coming if they're hostile, and maybe head around to where I think a insignia or name of the vessel might be.
Cool.
Give me some idea of what it is.
You make your way around, leading the group, slowly plodding through. Pax looking left and right, probably for more octopus tentacles or whatever it was. And as you get closer enough to see light that it would be projecting, you see that all of its running lights are off, and it's completely dark. And as you draw, how close are you getting to it?
I think I want to get close enough to touch the hull and see if we can feel if it's got an engine.
All the way close. Okay, so you get basically as you get right up to it, you realize that this is a wreck crawler and an older model than is currently the sort of in vogue military model of submersible wreck crawler. The leg apparatus is sort of steadily pressed into the silt and slightly clamping onto rock, so that it's often a way that the wreck crawler legs are kind of left, so even massive tidal currents and changes, even octopuses and animals, they're not going to move it. It's pretty fastened. But there's no minor rumblings or anything, and there's no insignia. In fact, where you would see insignia, you can see old flecks of red paint that have been painted on, and what looks like a human skull painted onto it, sort of crudely. Over where the official markings would be.
Cool. All right, when everyone sort of catches up to me, I'm going to sort of take my knife and sort of use it like a point and sort of tap at the skull and sign, probably not civilians.
Huh?
And then raiders?
What?
Question mark smiley face.
Robert, move. Let's see.
You have to sort of turn and oscillate to get the right viewpoint.
Yeah, every now and then a tentacle wraps around your face.
Pokes up the nose.
Yes, absolutely. There's some exploratory tentacles going in orifices.
Octopus in your helmet.
Oh god, not being able to
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
You imagine a tentacle just slowly winding up your nostril.
This is exactly
Luckily,
what I
Blobber's
wanted.
kind of lazy, so it's very slow.
Conduct chemical warfare and just sneeze on it.
It's almost a caress of the
It's
nostril.
almost worse.
Yeah.
Trying to make me sneeze.
We'll turn around, Pax will turn around and say, or sign to sort of be plan.
And to that, so, visibly consider it for a second and then sign basically either try the airlock or check the cave.
Which Pax turns around and is just we could knock.
Is there a window?
On the
sub?
wreck crawler? Yeah, there's one at the front, and
Can
that's
I
it.
look at it?
You can look through it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
You go around to the window, and from the inside, you can see that the sort of shutter is closed. So there's like a porthole door that you can close to mean that you could shoot a gun through the window and break it, and then it would still be watertight. So
I'll point at it.
Yeah. So I'll follow you and have a look. So yeah, basically we have no idea of the interior.
no idea.
All right. Well,
I just
mean,
realized my hand goes up.
does the little wreck crawler even have like an airlock as such as just flood the entire thing?
No, yeah. So the smaller wreck crawlers, the submersibles, if people need to disembark, they fully flood the interior. So everything's like locked away and then it's flooded. But it's not something that's commonly practiced except by people who are kind of like not like the military organizations don't like it because it causes issues because it's designed to do it, but you wet everything in the thing and it increases like erosion of equipment.
It's something you do because you have to, because you don't have another option, not because it's a good practice.
Yes, I mean some like special operations missions will do it, but that's because they want to like silently get a team out of a thing. Like there's exceptions.
Yeah.
So if you were to just rip the seal off and flood everything inside, would that completely screw it?
No.
Okay.
So I mean, it probably.
I thought it was like you had to seal everything off and then flood.
Oh, you'd ruin people's like rations and clothes and like stuff.
Okay.
But the equipment is designed to be pretty rudimentary on those ones, and also the crew typically are fully geared up. So typically, like even in the case of a breach, the water will come in and they're in their own suits.
It sort of, just turns out like maybe cave.
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to ascertain and guess that if there is someone in there, they're probably not having a nice time, and they probably would have gone elsewhere. So, cave. I presume that basically we've been given free reign to check everywhere. We don't have to report back.
You don't have any means to report back.
Yeah, we can't just like float past their viewport with like a little whiteboard.
There are radios and radio equipment and all that. You just don't have any. So like the boat doesn't even have any. They're just Kindred, man. They don't behave that way. They have a radio on board the ship. They can communicate with like back to the city sort of thing.
Yeah.
To some degree. I don't even know how effective that is underwater. I should Google it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm not even going to use the sign language. I'm just going to point enthusiastically in the direction of the cave and just start marching that way.
Cool.
Follow.
And you all proceed walking across the silty water and clambering over rocks as you get closer and closer to this sheer cliff face. And upon reaching it, you see that there are sort of old... there's some old like bits of metal that look like bits of chain as well, like almost like a guide chain that you'd anchor in and like pull yourself along the chain, but it's bent and broken in places. You're just sort of seeing the remnants of it trailing through the sand and the silt. And who is taking point?
Me.
Can I get you to make an acuity check, please?
All right.
Kitty check.
Oh, come back.
4. You're good at acuity.
Nice.
As you advance taking point, thankfully Clement is on point.
He is on point.
And you're quite good at spotting things. You notice that there are several what you would call sand traps in the way. Basically areas of massively loose sand that if you stand in it, it'll fall through and you'll just get sunk into the sort of sediment on the seafloor.
Oh, fun.
But spotting them that effectively, you can navigate the team around them and you basically completely avoid the natural danger that's just emerged here.
Cool. All right.
And you make your way to the cliff face. And upon arriving at the cliff face, several more of those old rusted like metal posts are stabbed in, indicating this is clearly the way people have gone in the past. But there is just a sort of crack in the cave that leads into a hole. It just narrows into a natural tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Right. Make sure that everyone is still here, and let's go.
The eldritch horror that is.
My face is pressed against the glass. Yes, I'm ready.
Tentacles over both eyes.
So,
Robert, lead the way.
what are you all doing for light?
Do we have flares or anything like that? Or
Do I have anything on my equipmenty backpacky thing?
Look, I'll say you probably have a spotlight. The divers don't have spotlights, and the bloody sailors do. Oh, your helmet has a light on it. I keep looking at the art and forgetting that you're wearing the helmets. All of your helmets have a torch on them, so
nice.
you've got some light sorted.
I was going to suggest that Blobbert sorted a battery.
That's right. Just
Now he
wait.
glows.
Works too.
just inside the helmet.
Above the helmet on the right, that's a light.
Just wait until
paint it
Blobbert
like a-
decides
it's
to,
painted like a lens,
you know,
but it's all right.
migrate from your helmet down to like one of your sleeves or something. Just one of your gloves starts going.
My arm's just like,
That's
don't
waving.
mind that.
You proceed, and the cavern slips and slides. The floor is like difficult to gain purchase on, and it narrows. And you find yourself maneuvering through basically an underground narrow cave system. Eventually, having to, in areas, leap and swim to maintain. Like there's basically holes in the ground. So I'm going to get you all to make some checks. Now, your check that you're making is navigating through a tight underwater cavern tunnel, which involves swimming, climbing, jumping. So I'm happy for you to throw an appropriate test at me, and I'll say yay or nay.
Shit.
I mean, I'm happy just for coordination.
Yeah, that's fine.
Deft of hand.
Deft of hand is probably not going to do it because specifically that's fine motor controls in your hands.
Anything reflexes based?
What would you like from reflexes?
Agility?
Agility's fine. Yeah, you can kind of dash from point to point.
Okay.
I think coordination would be the best for me as well.
Cool.
Strength power?
Yeah, you can
Yes,
you can basically just
count
like
right
push
here.
off the walls and
Oh
like,
wait, then that would be the
yeah,
best.
I was going to say.
yeah. you can absolutely use those. So make
Pax
check
forgot
everyone.
about his strengths.
Well,
for a
no, I'm
sec.
thinking about like moving and like jumping and stuff. I wasn't thinking about because I was sitting there going like, can I just power through this? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because that's just be like. But then I'm like, no, wait, that's
You're looking for one success. Any less will see you falling to the bottom of an abyss.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
cool. Could be a short game.
4 for me.
Nice.
Cool. So that's 4.
Yeah. Nice.
One success for prudence.
Oh,
Only just.
Only
Two
two for me.
successes for Mama. You all navigate
Mama.
through. Look, it's not the most difficult thing in the world, but it does require. There's a few moments that are a bit hairy, especially for Prudence.
Yeah, I can't see.
Who's not particularly strong as well. Like you're like this wiry scientist who's forced to navigate this.
Yeah.
But eventually, through winding through this underwater tunnel, you realize you've been basically headed upwards for quite some time, and the elevation has decreased. The pressure is decreasing in the water. And eventually, you reach a little flat, like it sort of levels off into a cavern, but it's all flooded. And there is a brass door in the wall.
Is there a handle?
Yeah, like built into the stone, or like the brass door is built into like a metal frame.
There's a metal frame. I'll say that probably makes more sense. But it's built into the wall. So, yeah, you see a brass door.
Is there a handle?
There is a sort of a button press.
Bouton.
Yes.
Bouton.
Press the button.
Max.
You reach out and press the button, and
I was telling him to press the button.
I do.
Nice.
Clement reaches
Tell
out.
me.
Reasons.
Clement reaches out and presses the button, and
I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
Oh, yes.
it just
Oh,
Press-
I'm not very good at it.
I sort of stand back and like scrutinize it a bit, you know, sort of like rub my hand on the underside of the helmet.
Make a investigation check.
All right.
Really want to thump it.
4.
Oh, Murray rolling hot.
You recognize that this 4 successes. You just make all the puzzles easy. So you recognize this model of door. In fact, with your military experience, it's an older model, but it's often used in underwater airlock sort of habitations in caverns. You've worked in a few, and it's not powered up. But you do know, with your 4 successes, that there is a panel you can remove, and there's basically a manual pump, and you can like crank it a bunch of times, and it gets enough power to activate the door. It's like a manual,
Like priming it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to locate this panel, open it up, and
Prime the hell out of it.
no, I'm going to stand back and gesture, point at it, and then look at Pax.
Gonna look over, see. Do I see is there a crank?
It's like it's a handle
pump,
that you pull up and down.
I sort of gesture to him.
It's like the thing in
what to do.
Jurassic Park where they prime it like 3 times.
I will reach out, just stabilize against the door. Just reach out.
We're gonna go a fitness check.
We brought
You
muscle
stand
for
there
a
and-
reason.
Strength fitness though.
Strength fitness. So that is
Challenge level 2. Pretty easy, but it takes you several minutes of charging this thing up.
that is
3. So Pax spends a couple of minutes diligently pumping this thing up and down. And then sort of, third pump from the last that he does, you see a little flicker in the button, and then a second one, and then the third one, and then the button's red.
Cool.
Press the button. There is a sort of echoey rumbling sound.
Exciting.
Bubbles. Water flooding into this door as it slides open from the floor into the ceiling. And you see a small square brass room with similar controls on the inside and another door.
Should I explode this one?
I'm like,
Okay, maybe on the way out.
yes, we.
There's most likely going to be air on the other side. So if you explode this, the resulting air and water will probably rupture you in turn.
You are something of a scientist. You're right.
Yes, I am quite smart and handsome.
I didn't say that.
Let's go.
Nothing is as handsome as Blobbert.
I feel like Blubbert's got injuries infecting your brain. And
It's true. It appears that is
all you have eyes for is you completely blindfolded or something.
I will say I just made a roll. Prudence, you do hear a strange sound in your helmet. It's like a mild minor sound. And there was a little before. It was like a
Do I feel?
No, you don't feel anything.
Okay.
very cold trickle
Robert,
running
stop
down your
that!
back.
Stop hissing!
onwards into the airlock.
Stop hissing. Yeah, it's totally Blobbert. You head into the small
Into the room?
square
Yep.
room. All of you.
Yeah.
There's a button in there. It's red.
Cool. Once we're in there,
Yep.
Push the
Do you
button.
press the button?
oh, we sure do.
And the process of an airlock or a water lock occurs where the door closes, all the water is pumped out of the room, and then the internal door goes boop, and a green light flicks, and then the door slides open,
Good thing I
revealing
didn't
to you a cavern that isn't full of water.
Whoa!
As you step into this underground cavern on the seafloor.
Always feel heavy when the water goes away.
All right, I'm gonna
You're a heavy man.
silently gesture to Pax to
Thank you.
be ready.
As you
Sort of got my knife out, sort of behind me.
As you enter the room, you immediately find there's a bunch of old crates sitting at the entrance, like very old, at least, 20 or 30 years old. And that is very old for crates to just randomly sit there. But you do note on the top of them that there is an old clipboard on the top with a note, like a paper note stuck into it with some stuff written on it. And then looking around the cave, there are several areas that sort of lead off. It seems like a major chamber with some tunnels and paths that lead off. But all around the room, there's old detritus of like some broken furniture, crates, boxes, things that have just been cordoned off areas of chain, and all of it just seems like it's been used as some kind of like staging area for something.
Am I correct in imagining as well that it's only lit by our headlamps?
Yes, as you pan around the room, your headlamps are lighting the room.
Cool. All right. I'm sort of once again silently gonna gesture to everyone to like follow me more or less in the direction of the clipboard. Like, not gonna like walk straight into the middle of the room, but sort of make my way around and sort of like suss out the area.
Well, the clipboard on the crates is probably only like 2 or 3 meters away.
Okay,
It's right
that
at
close.
the entrance. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, well, everyone else is sort of like milling about and like just looking around. I'm just going to give it a cursory glance. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to hand it to Prudence.
What are you handing to me?
The clipboard.
Ooh. Can you even read it?
Make an acuity check with disadvantage.
At
As
least
a
at
tentacle
-1.
slaps in front of your eye. Okay, -1 or disadvantage. You can pick.
-1.
Okay.
So I go back to keeping an eye out.
2 successes. Okay. You hold the clipboard out in front of you and have a look at the bit of paper on it. And you see a note on it. The note says, and it's scrawled in handwriting that is barely legible, but you managed to make it out. Being a scientist, you're used to terrible handwriting. It says, make sure you pick a code that's super easy, hun. I know you're forgetful. And then it has a winky face drawn on the bottom, and it has a signature with a love heart that says that's signed Sugar Plum.
Okay, I will relay this information. It's a super easy code, apparently.
Are you taking your helmets off, or are you just keeping them on?
I'm keeping mine on.
I'll keep mine on because otherwise Blowbit will escape.
Which would be terrible right now.
If no one's taking theirs off, I wouldn't.
I feel like Pax just being in a way mission, like it's
Oh,
an
yeah.
extra level of protection. He'd keep his on.
Fair. It does kind of diminish your perceptions of the environment around you, though, so it's worth being aware of.
Yeah. Helpful to have a headlight, though.
Sure. Yeah.
True.
So, wait. No. Passwords? Nothing about, hello, we're raiders, come kill us?
No. Very lovey-dovey.
They're probably docile then.
You sound disappointed.
I am!
Well, maybe it's been here for ages.
Sort of kick a crate gently.
Maybe
in it.
they're already dead.
Gone around, move further into the room in hope of finding something else.
Can I look at one of the crates
Yep.
and pry it open?
There. You know what? Make an engineering check to open one of the crates.
Wrong character. Oh, 1 success. I can't use my brute strength to just
Make a strength engineering check.
see.
Should have said that from the start. You think you're like levering the lid off it, sort of thing.
2.
2 successes. You crack open the side of this crate, and there is a thunk as a sort of a tight, compressed, and very heavy steel cylinder, like drops to the ground out of a crate that's clearly was holding 4 of them, and it's just sort of fallen out the side as you crack the side open, and clunks onto the ground and sort of rolls slightly.
Okay.
It clangs loudly and echoes throughout the room.
I go pick it up.
It's almost too heavy to pick up,
Oh.
but you have high strength, right? So if you want to pick it up, it's burden 3.
Damn.
And you pick up this canister, and it is a canister of effectively like pressurized fuel. It has like flammable warnings on it and everything.
The crate that it came from has more of these?
Yes.
Interesting. Hey, Pax, honey, do you mind coming over here for a sec? Mm-hmm. And I show you the crate.
There's a lot of firewater there.
Oh, is that what that is? This is?
Be careful with that.
Maybe I could flambe something. Or roast it. I take it with me.
Ferret had a full head of hair before we got on the business end of one of those.
Oh dear me. That is horrifying to think about.
He just had the best hair on the crew. It was like his pride and joy.
Like full Fabio.
Yeah, it was glorious.
That's
Like Finn when he takes his hoodie off for those Adventure Time fans.
Never been the same since.
Oh, fuel. That'll be quite good to take back to the ship. That'll make the trip worth it just on its own.
Is there anywhere that seems to be like where you would enter a code in?
Not that you've seen so far.
And I look for?
Yeah, okay. So are you splitting up? Are you sticking together?
How big is this area?
It's a fairly large cavern with lots of zero sight lines where there's 0 points in the cavern where you can see everywhere in the cavern. There's like stalactites, stalagmites, like bends. You can see light, from one angle, you can sort of see a gap in between some stalactites over there. You can see that the bends around there. But if you're standing 2 meters to the right, you can't see the exact same angle. It's one of those lots of sight lines obstructed by things in the room. Fairly large room.
I don't think we're going to split up. We should go in one because I was charged with being bodyguard to these two.
Well, I start wandering in a direction. You are welcome to follow.
Cool. Yep. I will get everyone's attention to follow. And we'll go as one.
I think we're moving.
Who's leading?
I'm wandering,
So you're wandering?
looking for a place where
All
a
right.
code would be.
Can you make an acuity check as you wind around it? You take your random
-1.
direction. Challenge level on this is 3. And haven't seen it yet. I will also allow our spotter to make the check, which is Murray. But for him being further back and not on point, it's challenge level 4. You failed. Okay.
I got 2.
So, Murray, I did all that with my eyes closed so that the outcome couldn't affect my judgment on what I wanted the challenge to be.
All right.
Nope.
2 successes.
That's right. Not worth
Together that
spending
makes
neck on that.
4.
Cool. So,
You use one eye, I use the other.
Prudence.
That's right. I am
Yes.
hampered by my lack of enthusiasm after
You
the last
start heading around a corner and your light, it's sort of a minor tunnel. It's still part of the same room, but it tunnels off in a point. But your light catches a door on the end of this room and you can see a keypad on the side. So it's like amazing, right? So you start pushing towards it and then several steps in halfway up the corridor, you feel a very tiny through your suit amount of pressure that pulls back on your foot as you then take your full step, and then you all hear a sharp twang. Can I get you to make a reaction check?
Yeah.
Challenge level for this is also going to be 4. It's pretty bad.
and I
It's
didn't
pretty
say
hard to
anything,
avoid.
So I can't be like, can I help?
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was either going to say 3 or 4, so it's 4. There is a rather loud thunking sound. Prudence.
Yes.
The first thing you feel is an immediate sense of cold sweat prickling across your head.
And this time it's not blubber.
And then something feels wrong in a way that in the instant is not pain. The rest of you see a harpoon fire out of a trap in the wall and just go straight into Prudence. Prudence, you take 5 damage with Pierce 1.
Oh my god. Wait, what's our defense in this suit?
I believe I sent it to everyone. I think it's 3 for 3 for Pax and 2 for you guys.
Said not to write it down because we weren't in it.
Oh, you are now. I believe it's 2 with
2 durability.
2 durability. Is that correct?
So
And then
it's
Pax has
not
3 defense.
3 defense.
Yeah, Pax gets extra, but you have heavy on yours as well, which means in combat you can only move once. you can't move. Like even if you had an ability, you couldn't charge and move for free. You either do one or the other.
Whoops.
Yeah, where did you send this?
Got it.
In the group chat.
How far back was that?
Not that far. It's probably
that
one of the
far.
most recent messages.
Yeah. You're way too far. They're literally right.
Oh, there.
Cool.
I was looking for an image.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And
Yay.
there
Oh,
is a
lordy.
spear protruding out of, I'm going to say, your leg. Kind of, maybe even towards like the butt, like upper thigh on the backside. There's just this harpoon, very similar to the ones that Mama has, just
wasn't me.
embedded in your leg. And you know what? Sticking out the other side too. Like the tip of the harpoon is sticking out the other side.
Oh my god. I appear to have been impaled.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, they're good for that.
You know,
Working as intended.
Can I pull it out? Or would that be a bad idea?
Ripping it out would be a bad idea,
Okay.
but you could remove it with care, with help.
I'm going to.
But do you see the
attempt to
tip
do
of that harpoon? You probably want to.
Oh,
you
no,
probably
it
want to
was-
like
yeah.
break the tip off
Oh,
before
mine,
you
right,
remove it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if anything, you probably don't want to remove it. I probably would leave it in
Just
as much
walk
as
with
that's
the
awful.
harpoon?
Because
Okay.
it's
Makes me look
also
badass.
going to make whatever breach in your suit is like significantly worse.
Is it like a wooden haft or is it
Steel?
Steel. Damn. All right. Nope, can't help you.
Oh, 'cause
Sorry.
snapping it.
I was just gonna snap it off at like the leg to sort of be like, let's not have a waving around
pole.
harpoon.
Prudence, are you alright? I'm okay. I found the code thing.
You found something else!
Yeah,
I found you!
The harpoon found you.
yes.
Impressively, there's not much blood
Yet.
outside the suit. Although your foot is starting to feel like there's a little bit of a liquid in the bottom of your
Ow.
suit. However, this harpoon is very effectively like it's still kind of plugging the hole. Yeah.
Walk closer and sort of whistle. That's a doozy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd be careful with that one if you
like-
go back.
Are you dying? Please don't die.
No, you can lead. I'll observe.
I like the idea that Pax walks up and goes, "Hey, twinsies!" Holds up his leg and he's got one that's been there, like filed off at one side, but it's like built into his suit because no one's removed it yet.
Fascinating.
All right.
Extreme pain. the pain is building by like in miles now.
Maybe this will make me more fertile. Anything for science.
And concerningly, you feel the rapid.
my butt.
You feel the rapid motion of Blobbit like leaving the head of your helmet and descending through your suit, like wiggling down your body.
Oh, Fluffer. You
We
lead.
spoke about this last time.
You lead, please.
And you know what? Being really, this is a moment of why you love Blobbit. You didn't.
Yeah.
You feel a minor tightening around the top of your leg
Oh,
as Blobbit is constricting it with his tentacles.
He's a little
what a good boy.
I just like
He
kind
wants
of
to get out
like my
alive.
leg a little bit, just pat it.
Yeah, he wants to get out alive. In fact,
He doesn't want to drown in your blood.
Yeah,
Waiting for the harpoon to come out so he can slip.
Yeah.
we're gonna need art of Blobbit. This is a disaster. Blobbit's great. He needs to. There's a thing. Sorry, everyone. Minor tangent. There's a thing in old books that they draw on like the margins and things in like Warhammer Codex and stuff. There's little fun drawings. I would love some of them for the Kindred PDF we're making. So hey, Blobbit as just like a little like on the bottom of a page near the page number. You just have this little.
His eyes
you
need to
have
be
him,
pointing
like-
in different directions.
You
It's
have
very
him like
important.
in the margins, like squished, like he's like making his way around.
Imagine
like,
or not, because I'm imagining Blobbit as like the pug of octopuses. Like this has been 500 years of selective breeding.
Yeah.
Have you seen what's the movie? There's like such and such versus the machines, or such and such family versus the machines.
Oh,
And
the Mitchells versus the
That's the
Machines.
one. And
Yes.
then like they use the pug against the robots because the robots try to identify it. And they're like pig, dog, loaf of bread.
That's awesome.
Such a good movie.
Well, you just stay there. Hold on to that.
Okay.
Try not to die. That would be bad for me.
Yes.
And,
that would be bad for my studies.
I'm just gonna see, like, can I have a look at this trap? It's literally just like a harpoon gun set up with a tripwire.
Literally not even the dignity of a gun. It's like a Hawaiian sling equivalent. Like it's a rudimentary trap that just projects a spear. Just yeah, so it's a spear gun. Sorry, it's a spear gun in the like spearfishing sense, not like the sci-fi rifle gun that Mama has, the Kindred military harpoon guns.
Was it like a tripwire or was it a
It was a tripwire. You ripped a tripwire with your foot off the ground.
so it's not going to go off again.
That one has certainly been triggered.
That one.
I found a trap.
Could have scored me a launcher. Ah, well.
We go further.
So I'm going to proceed up, looking very carefully for more traps.
You can make an investigation check.
All right, I will.
And I'll tell you whether you succeed by whether or not.
Just a
Two successes.
complete TPK.
You don't seem to notice any. Conveniently, you also don't seem to trigger any as you get to the other end of the corridor. And you arrive at the door, yes?
Prudence just lucky, I suppose.
There is a single red light, which was obviously what lured Prudence's attention towards it. And it's projecting with your torch on your head. You can now see the keypad. The keypad also seems powered.
Mm-hmm.
There is a paper note tucked around the side of the keypad.
I withdraw the note and look at it.
Cool. It seems relatively recent. It says in all like full caps writing, but it's handwritten like someone, it's got that look of someone who can't write cursive and maybe doesn't know how to write both versions of the alphabet. So just all caps, really rough handwriting. It says, don't fuck up more than once or it will lock you out for a day again.
Well, don't think that's the code.
We're not on YouTube anymore. I can
No,
say
no,
that.
no. I was responding to the
Oh,
fact
right.
that
That was
we
like,
have
I
one
get
shot
to drop
at
an
this.
F-bomb without immediately demonetizing the stream.
Can
Put down the code.
I'm
Can
very
we-
sorry about that.
we do that thing where like you can try and see what's been pressed the most? Especially if it was someone with big handwriting who might have been punching the numbers in.
Or if like the numbers are scraped or something.
1, 1, 1, 1.
It's got to be like an investigation check, right?
What? The note said the password
You
was
can
easy.
make an investigation check as you look at it. Yep. Although, given that it's using your eyes, you can have -1. Oh no, Blobbert's moved. You're fine.
Hey! Good boy, Blobbert.
Challenge level's pretty high on this. I'll give you sort of ascending clues, like really damn high because it's such a move. Two is.
I don't think I've rolled higher than a 2.
Yeah,
And you've
no.
rolled 2 consistently.
You would have needed like 5 to actually get an answer with good value. 'Cause that's like ridiculous tier of movie nonsense. I don't think that.
That's what
Like, yeah,
roleplay is.
if it's the code at like a door to an office building that's been used for 8 years by like 400 employees a day, they're going to be rubbed pretty thin. This doesn't seem to get that amount of use, so it just hasn't really affected it.
No luck. And they said the password would be easy. Damn you, sugar plum.
Can I check to see if it's like just written somewhere around, like if it's like carved in?
I'm going to give you. It's you have a look around. It's not. There's nothing
What?
indicating it. There are other places to look too.
I'm
Like you haven't
stumped.
explored this whole
What
cavern.
could it possibly be?
What's actually on the keypad?
Numbers
Ranging from like the full
1 to 0, like a
Yeah.
standard keypad.
Okay, anything
1
else?
to 0.
I thought
That's 2 numbers.
It sounds like
I told you it was
just a
1, 1,
and then-
1, 1.
L.
I know. 1, 2,
Have
3,
you
4,
ever
5,
seen
6,
a
7,
key-
8, 9, 0.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Okay. You and your old phones.
Oh my god.
Man, playing Snake on a Nokia was just peak. No, it actually sucked. It was awful. don't take me back to that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying,
No,
Mama?
it's cool. You good?
Mama?
Morma.
All right.
Mama.
You said explore the cave?
There's more places to explore.
We do a lap?
Just head off in a random direction.
Quick, there must be clues on the paper.
You
Have you
are.
bled all over it?
No.
You probably should stay put, darling.
No, I must investigate. I'll find the numbers. Why is he rolling?
to determine which
You said that in
which
character.
random direction you are
All of us are
you were
going.
heading in.
I thought as if I was bleeding out. Just halfway through my sentence.
Papa just eats your leg.
All right, let's head in that random direction then, Dave.
Okay. You head over to another side of the cavern where it winds in, and you see a wooden sign that is pointing, and it says supply. It's painted on in like a white paint. And it's pointing towards a tunnel, and the tunnel leads down slightly, but this tunnel appears to be flooded.
What in the heck?
There is an old pump set up to it that is not currently operating.
manual pump.
No, it's like a motored pump.
Oh, sick.
What do you spy, smart person?
Water.
I thought he said smut person.
Make a knowledge.
No judging anyone's hobbies here.
Hey, Prudence, make a knowledge check.
Tentacle novels.
Oh, that's why I haven't.
We as a society have a lot of troubles. You know, we probably can read a lot of that. Oops.
We breed with weird things, you know.
That was a sweeping success.
Finally! Yay!
You gain a spirit, which can go over your maximum.
Not everywhere, sorry.
Smart power.
She said smut powder and it's smut powder. She said smut power and subsequently spat all over the table.
Well, it worked.
We will survive.
Anyway, what do I gain?
Spirit, but you can go above your max.
I've never felt the power of smut so viscerally.
So, wow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Murray. Wow.
The 4D experience.
I mean,
It's like I'm really there.
It's the first time I've seen smut with a
yeah,
splash.
I'm just thinking that's the idea. Like getting covered in saliva. Yeah, that's part of the smut experience, the IRL smut experience.
Anyway, what did you find?
Sorry, Jess, it would have gone red if we'd said that at the table. So it's really good. So funny.
Yeah.
On that thing.
I like to imagine you
God.
just tuned in and then just turned off again.
She had to do something. Just,
He's
nope.
like, what am I missing? Never mind.
Never mind.
Oh, we should have done like a Court of Thorn and Roses role play and just
Oh, so
yeah.
This used to be a serious show.
So
Different kind of role play.
you got a very effective success. You immediately
did.
notice that water is very dark in color, abnormally dark, thick and viscous.
Me.
And
Water is very abnormally dark and it is thick and viscous.
you recognize it as brine
and I
water.
recognize it as brine water.
Ooh, delicious.
So it is basically
chicken in
water
there.
with a very high amount of salt that you have no buoyancy in. And almost no visibility in, and if you enter it, you will sink to the bottom and be completely unable to swim.
No buoyancy. No visibility. You will sink and die.
But it's salty.
Salty.
Yes, it will immediately kill any sea
You
creatures
should
that
put your
enter
leg
it.
in that, and then we can deep fry your leg with.
You're not eating my leg.
It's just a thought.
Are you sure?
Yes, I need it. For science. Thank you.
Okay.
Is that all I got?
Yep.
Don't go in the tunnel.
Oh, you know what? You did acknowledge. That generator is basically a generator that just requires fuel to operate.
Which generator?
The one the pump. It's a pump generator. Sorry, it's,
Would it happen to have
it's
a
almost the same thing.
deposit for a canister?
There is an area where you can attach there's like a hose that you can link up and a valve you can screw on to a.
Like a slightly strobing highlighted area next to it or something.
Not quite that obvious, but you know. Actually, randomly, I didn't expect that Jen would tear a crate open and reveal that there was fuel in the room. So yes, in fact,
Nice,
there is a
Jen.
valve with a sweeping success. Three and four together. The big canister that Mama's holding.
Mama's got it.
She's
Prudence,
holding
you
them.
also recognize is the exact type of fuel that is used for these pumps.
Mama, would you please put in the tank in the valve or the generator?
I think the valve generally goes in the tank, usually.
Shh. Do it. I'm bleeding out here.
But
Quick, we don't have much time left.
Okay, I put it in.
Make an engineering check.
only hold for so long.
This is just an engineering check. This one is just engineering. Challenge over 1.
Oh, look at that.
No successes.
I shove it in.
You sure you don't want to use a knack or anything?
Amazing sweep.
What was the
Level 1, challenge level 1. You'll use a knack?
Yeah.
Because I was about to say you hear an awful crack and a high pressurized sound as
We all die.
fuel is immediately starting to pour into the room. But no, you have a moment where you almost break something.
Just like turning on the stove.
In fact, I'm going to say you do break it, but then with your knack, you do like one of those things where you manage to like cram, like you can't undo this and replace it. It will be broken, but you manage to like tighten it such that it's currently okay. But the bit that like screws on cracked and is going to fall off.
Threaded or in, tight is tight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's on.
I think we're good.
And you activate the pump, and there is a and the pump begins to drain the little tunnel. And
Hooray.
after about 10 minutes, it's drained.
The tunnel is no longer viscous and salty.
No pickled
Yeah.
leg tonight, guys.
Well, shall we proceed this way, since we have not found the numbers? Curse you, Sugar Plum.
Yes, let's go.
Very well.
You head down the tunnel. It winds a very short distance, basically goes down, up, and there is the shreds of a ladder that used to be mounted into the wall that is no longer mounted into the wall, and a small cargo elevator that is operated by winch, pulley, and hand. Had this all been flooded, it would have been impossible to use, but given that it's currently not flooded, someone particularly strong could probably like lever someone up on the little cargo
I will volunteer.
platform.
Pax will sort of like hobble forward and look up. Is this the way we want to go?
I do believe it is. Pax, man the thing. I will go up. You stay there.
I'm not going anywhere fast.
Evidently. Upsy daisies, Pax.
Strength power.
To daisies.
Uppies.
Oh my gosh, you have so many dice.
Goodness.
I know.
You didn't roll very well.
No, you got two.
But 2 will do it. As it's a bit less, it's a bit more juddery and like, there's maybe like gunk and age has made the mechanism not as smooth, and Pax has to compensate. It's a very bumpy, uncomfortable ride. It's not a very long ride. It's only a few meters, and you get pulled to the top, where you clamber off, Clement, and find yourself in basically a little storage area. It's a dead end. You can see everything here is kind of immaculately preserved. You think something about the brine water and the salt atmosphere. This is like stored in a cool, dry place with silica packets to like 5,000. So it's actually like in the way that people put paintings in those salt caverns. It's very similar vibe here. So there's a whole bunch of boxes and storage boxes. But there's only one that really stands out to you. Because it has a big stamp on the side of it of a cupcake, and there is a notice on it that says birthdays and significant occasions only, and then an exclamation point. And it says, remember, these are rations for special occasions.
That's where the cupcakes come.
Well,
Very
then,
briny.
Clearly, we need to know: is it like a big crate, or can I just like take it up and take it with us?
You can take it with you.
Cool. Well, I might
Takes 2 burden. It's a decent sized box.
I might just drag it back onto like the elevator.
Yep. And come back down.
Yeah, and there's nothing else really interesting. Is you said that's what drew my attention. But
It's food. It's all food, which is not something that you probably would want to eat,
yeah, cool. All right.
or that you need.
Unless you want to be poisoned.
Depends
Cool.
who you ask.
I found something. I'm coming down.
And Clement is brought to the ground level, holding a small crate of
Hopefully
cupcakes.
slowly.
And you all read the same notice: birthdays and special occasions only.
Whose birthday is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's Sugar Plums. And then the birthday date. Is there a date somewhere? That could be the code.
Well, do you see a birthday date anywhere?
Not on this side.
I flip the paper.
No.
No.
Why don't
Fires again, sugar plum.
why don't you just open it?
Oh, okay.
You pull this crate is easy to open. It's more like a box. You pull the top off, and the cupcake answer. No, there's no Twinks here. The cupcake answer to Twinkies.
But there's cupcake.
Clement is not a twink.
He's the closest we got.
He's like Jafar. He's a villainous moustache. Like what?
I know. Not quite. We call that an antonym.
It is the cupcakes answer to Twinkies. You basically have these like packaged cupcakes in like sealed plastic.
Mama says, "Gimme," and just steals one from you and opens it up. Oh,
And what do you do with it now that you're holding
eat
it?
it.
So
I
you press it
devour
into
it.
the glass of your closed
Yeah, I
steel
do.
helmet.
-1 acuity.
Do you actually do that?
Yeah.
You forget you're wearing. You know, it's
yeah.
very fitting that you would forget you're wearing your helmet, and you just smash a cupcake into the front of the glass of your helmet, and you now have -1 acuity as you have
Coronation.
cupcake skewed all over the front of your.
He does that once.
Just glad it's not me this time.
Oh, that was a fascinating result.
Lucky there's
I
more.
write on the clipboard.
There is still one more area you haven't looked. You like to head out and have a look?
Yeah.
I should look at that other one.
You journey to the other side of the cavern, and you find a small cutaway mess area. It looks like a makeshift kitchen. There's some tables and stools set up. There's meal and ration setups. You could easily cook here. There's cookware. There's also another little, like a portable stove that's fueled by those gas canisters. It seems like it's been used way more recently, but still a little while ago. There is I'm going to say a blackboard, not a whiteboard, a blackboard here on the wall. And it says, "Don't forget your friends." And then it has a picture of a cupcake on it. And it has a crew manifest.
You ate his friends.
And the crew manifest has 6 sets of initials as well as numbers after them.
Okay, what are the numbers?
So it
What
has
does numbers mean, Mason?
the initials are JS, TW, SP, KL, AG, and VM.
Say that again.
JS, TW, SP, KL, AG, and VM.
AG and VM. Okay.
And there's numbers next
And
to
there's
them.
there's numbers after them. Do you want the numbers for all of them? Okay. JS is 23 period 2 period 488.
Okay.
Hate all of this already.
TW is 18 period 6 period 482.
It's got to be birthdays.
SP is 10 period 4 period 483. KL is 3 period 9 period 490. Riveting content for the viewer and listener. AG is 2 period 12 period 470.
2 period
477, sorry.
12 period 470.
This is where you know a GM has prepped when they're throwing this crap
I was
at
just
you.
want to say, are you playing? Oh, you did the last one, sorry.
And the last one is 30.4.479.
Were you playing blueprints when you wrote this?
After I had played the blueprints, and I'm like,
played
I
it.
want to make a puzzle.
And the clipboard with the note, is it addressed to anyone?
Sugar plum.
Or no, it's
Oh,
signed
from-
from Sugar Plum.
It's signed Sugar Plum.
But is it addressed to anyone?
So do you want me to reread the note to you?
Yes, please.
It said, it was signed Sugar Plum. It said, make sure you pick a code that's super easy, hun. I know you're forgetful. Love heart.
Okay.
It could be Sugar Plum's birthday.
Whose initials are Hun?
No, SP is Sugar Plum. And if they are indeed romantically entangled, they could have picked their birthday. Which is
That would make sense.
483.
We don't really know what the other one's name is, so
Exactly. I knew you were a smart lad.
Unless the cupcake letter? Did that say
It just said only have these for special occasions.
That's correct. And the note on the door
So you get one chance.
it said, don't fuck up more than once.
Okay, so you get 2 chances.
Yes.
Do we
one
want to
chance
try
and
my
one
theory?
final chance. Yeah,
One
chance.
strike.
Yeah.
And what's that?
The birthday of this sugar plum that he curses so.
I think it's logics to try it.
Sure,
Scientific, really.
I guess.
Let's do it.
I hobble very slowly, and you guys all beat me to the door.
Can I go check that the stove is still working? Like, is it working? Is it without canister?
There's that tick tick, and then a burner goes on.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
I just want to make sure that if we do, well, one of us dies down here, we will be eating like tonight.
Okay.
I don't say that out
I mean,
loud.
there's ration boxes and there's cupcakes.
When there's a roast that could be had,
the Blobbit, right? Blobbit is
Yeah,
totally what you're
sure.
talking about. Yeah.
I think she's
So
talking
if
about
you
my
die,
leg.
Blobbit is going on the stove.
And my leg.
All right. So
And if the scientist
door.
dies, we could
You
do
head
like
to the
an
door.
octopus person to ducking sort of thing.
that's good thinking. I like that.
you're standing at the door. There's the red glowing ominous light. You don't trigger any more traps.
All right. Well, you're holding the thing. Would you... And you're bleeding the most. Would you like to do the honors?
What does bleeding have to do with anything?
It means that I'm
Pity
already
thing.
injured.
I see.
So if something blows up, it'll go into my other leg.
Oh, that's really smart. I like that.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I will punch in the numbers.
Yes, I thought of that as well.
I stand away from the door.
So, if I wrote it down
Tell me the
correctly-
numbers you punch in and the order you punch them in.
Something like that. 10,
blueprints let you go either way.
4, 8, 3.
10 is not a number on a keypad.
No, but you do 1, 0.
Okay, so you do one. Tell me one by one.
1, 0,
Yeah.
4,
Yep.
4,
Yep.
8, 3.
Yeah. As you press the last button, there is a OK on the keypad. Do you press the OK or the clear?
Okay.
You press OK. There is a click and the red light turns green. Ow! And then you hear as like metal bolts in the door pull back from the electronic lock. And the door doesn't move at all because it's a heavy steel door, but it's now unlocked and you can open it.
I turn around and go, science!
Well done. Suck on that, sugar plum.
She probably did suck on that cupcake on her birthday.
All right.
It's just a fact.
No, actually, I think
Was
Mama
that the
smushed
other
it
one?
against her
Was that the
viewport.
other
Yes,
one's
true.
name?
The
So,
cupcake?
yeah.
Maybe. Could be onto something.
I don't care. Let's go.
Open the door.
I have bested Sugar Plum,
That's a
and I
great
want
way
to
to
reap
speed
my
up the role
awards.
play. She's like, I don't care.
Enough talking.
And these quibbers.
Give me 1 sec.
Oh.
Just make some entertaining commentary.
well, we like
were
stop
until you
talking.
shushed us.
Oh, no, I was saying like 1 sec. That was a finger up of 1 sec, not a finger up of shush. Don't worry, people can't see what
I
we're saying.
open.
I've just realized that I've
the
been
door.
seeing
Double?
Clement's moustache as his mouth for a while now. I just now looked at it and realized he's got like a pencil moustache. And I hate it.
Interesting. I'm going to draw Blobbert.
Blobbert.
Yeah. Well, at least I try to open the door. I don't know if it's stiff or I need to make Pax do it.
There is a little shove, but you actually don't manage to get it to fully open. So you need to make a power check to push it open.
Pax Sugar Plum is once again trying to hinder us. Open the door.
And the door slides open, and on the other side of the door, you see movement. As the room is lit, there are lights on, and the helmet is slid down on a Kindred wearing a very similar uniform to yours, as a red glow from inside their suit illuminates their wicked sharp teeth. And you hear the racking of what Clement immediately recognized is a standard issue sailor submachine gun as a magazine gets slammed home in it. And a small group of very hostile looking, very not New Liberty aligned Kindred of the Abyss
Oh, no.
suddenly staring you down at that brief moment of standoff.
Sugar plum. I should have known.
We have known Sugar Plum for all of 5 minutes.
You still don't really know Sugar Plum, to be fair.
Hey, you don't know that.
And that is where we're going to end it tonight. Also,
Sorry,
by the
we're
way, how
about to end it.
awesome is that art that Alicia
That's
did?
very cool.
That's so cool.
Is it meant to look like a teddy bear, or
What? Where are you getting teddy bear from?
I don't know? It looks like a weird armored teddy bear to me. I think it's the
you need new
cheeks.
I am
glasses.
afraid I do not see teddy.
Yeah, I don't know in the slightest.
No one sees like little like teddy sort of thing.
I
I
hope-
might have to see like a proper image of it at some point, but
Maybe.
I hope you all enjoyed our second episode of the Kindred of the Abyss roleplay. We got some silliness, we got some puzzles, we got some blobbit, we got harpooned in the ass.
Nice.
And that was just now.
Just now. And Mama is going to be regretting that cupcake smeared on the front
Yeah.
lens of her diving suit now.
Snack for
Thank you to our patrons for all your support and for allowing us to continue making this. If you like what we do, please consider supporting us on Patreon for the roleplay. It is the only reason we can do this. So we appreciate it.
Yes.
We really do
Patrons
appreciate
allowed
it.
the creation of this.
Fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And we hope you're enjoying our little exploration of the Kindred of the Abyss, and they're hyping you up for the Kindred of the Abyss if you've already backed the campaign. If you haven't, you can't anymore. Late backers, it's over. It's over, and late backers are closed. But we would love it if you would follow along. The Kindred will be available later,
Yeah.
but currently we're in that like post-campaign fulfilling stretch goals period. They'll be back. Don't worry.
Oh, yep. Okay. See.
But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we're going to go say hi to our live Twitch chat for a little bit, and then our patron after party. So 2 reasons to check out the live stream, and also join our Patreon, join the after parties. The music is slightly too loud, and we're going to go cruise on. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.